Hello and welcome, everyone. We are here today to talk to you about the County of San Diego's initiative, Project M.O.S.T, which means Minority Owned Support and Technical Assistance Initiative. I have the pleasure of being able to interview two incredible founders. My name is Jenae Griffin. I am the co founder of the Equity Space Alliance. And we are a for-profit space company that is really focused on bringing solutions to the space industry, but utilizing underserved and diverse talent. Today, I am interviewing Miss Natashe Muschette of the Prep Institute and also Elizabeth Cotton of Black Tech Link. And so I want to really get into the last 2 years in which they have facilitated this initiative for the County of San Diego and really talk to them about what their role is, the impact that they've had so far, and really get into just more about the program. So I'll start there. Natashe and Elizabeth, can you both maybe introduce yourselves a little bit more to the audience and give a little bit more background about your companies?
Thank you. I'm Natashe Muschette, the CEO of the Prep Institute, and we provide growth training for small organizations throughout San Diego. We were fortunate enough to be able to partner with Elizabeth, and so I'll turn it over to her for her introduction.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Elizabeth Cotton. I'm the executive director of Black Tech Link. We're a nonprofit that's based in San Diego, and our mission's to support Black communities in providing workforce solutions, technical training, and networking opportunities. We were excited to participate in Project M.O.S.T as it aligns closely with like our values and the work that we do.
And for those who may not be familiar with Project M.O.S.T, I know that I kind of, talked about the what M.O.S.T stands for. But for those who aren't familiar, could you give us a little bit more information about Project M.O.S.T and what inspired its creation? And Natashe, I'm going to go to you to answer that question.
The community of small nonprofits and small businesses, particularly minority-led nonprofits and minority-owned small businesses, inspired its creation. The other aspect of that is that they were willing to answer surveys that Live Well San Diego and the county sent out to find out what their needs are in business development and small business, nonprofit development, what their training needs were. And I say that because it's very important for the community to hear and understand that their input to the county and Live Well, it works. That inspired the creation. Live Well San Diego and the county got together, said we're going to respond to this, and we're going to create the first and only growth initiative for these organizations.
And in that same vein, how do you think that Project M.O.S.T has actually helped these small businesses and nonprofits so far, particularly those that are coming from the underrepresented or minority communities?
I think as the prime contractor for this initiative, we took a lot of time to understand what their needs were. And one thing that we found is that growth happens in different ways. No organization grows the same. And so we tried to help small businesses and small nonprofits with offering 11 growth incubators where they could come in, do a business model for growth, and then select a growth strategy and work on that strategy in a very specific incubator. So for example, if the growth strategy was fund development, they would move to the fund development incubator, work with a subject matter expert, and within 12 months, bring in revenue into their organization. I think that's something that's very unique because what we heard from them was, we don't know how to do it. We know that we need to do it and we need time to do it. And we designed the incubators to respond to that.
Awesome. And Elizabeth, could you tell me a little bit more, maybe talk about the open entry, open exit workshops?
Yeah, so as a subcontractor on this project, we supported Natasha's work, especially with the incubators, by providing the open entry, open exit workshops. We dove into our network of amazing small business and nonprofit professionals that have had successes and in their own business, and then also um, companies and small businesses that provide services regularly to um, up and coming or emerging small businesses and nonprofits to kind of lead and facilitate workshops to kind of educate them on various business topics. So focusing on like fund development, that's kind of where we started, making sure participants understood what it takes to get their books in order so they are able to like receive funding or financing in the future. We did conversations on like how to optimize like marketing, utilizing digital tools, helping them to leverage like AI to write like proposals to grow their business. And so just a lot of conversations around that, really leaning on our network of I would say like 7,000 plus professionals to provide conversations that would help take small businesses and nonprofits to the next level, complementing what Natasha is doing with her incubators.
And now, Natasha, could you tell me a little bit more and maybe share a few success stories or milestones about some of the businesses and nonprofits that have already gone through the program?
Sure, there may not be enough time for me to really talk about all the successes, but I'll do a few.
That's a win.
It is a win. Collectively, these organizations raised over $2.2 million in 2 years collectively. I love, isn't that wonderful? It's wonderful. If I were to pick out a couple, I would talk about Urban Life, which specializes in English language literacy programs for immigrant and refugee students. They actually pioneered customizing an AI bot just for their organization to help them not only manage their internal operations more effectively, but also look at different strategies to bring in money, to build their board, and also to market themselves to new markets around education and training. This AI bot is specifically and only for them. It has searched all of their information, their websites, etc., and it's now a partner, a team member in helping them move things forward. So that's a win for them. When I look at You Belong Here, which is a small nonprofit, I'm sorry, a small business that helps to train artists in business services and business management. They actually started contracting with the city to provide those business services to urban artists. Also, too, Common Ground Theater, which is the only and longest running Black theater over 60 years,
Wow.
put together a campaign. It's called Fill the Seats campaign and increased revenue by 42% in one performance so far. I'm sorry, one initial performance, and that's continuing to really draw a multicultural audience to talk about hard issues and soft issues, but really to bring people together. And finally, I'll mention Movement Matters, which is a business focused on healthcare. They use exercise and physical care to help people heal not only themselves, but their families and their community. They actually increased their B2B customers by 17%. That's just a few of the other success stories that we have for this program.
Elizabeth, were you going to say something or to add to that?
No, I think when I talk to the um, facilitators of our workshop that have also provided support for Project MOS, and after attendees participate in these workshops, and then they go to the facilitators to provide extra support, technical assistance. I feel like that's always a win when one of my workshop leaders come and say, "Hey, I was able to get some business. I was able to help one of the small businesses that or nonprofits that participated in the workshops." That's always a good milestone and win for us as well.
And so, what would you guys say makes Project Most you all's approach different from other business or nonprofit support or government contracting programs? Because the successes that you guys are talking about are really impactful. And so, like, what is that? What's the secret sauce?
That's a really good question. I think the secret sauce is that we're not traditional in our training. I like to use the word unique because we are unique. I'll quickly mention something about the OEOEs that Elizabeth developed. She created an environment that allowed people not just to come and listen to the information, but practice the information and answer questions. Bring their questions to the table and have them answered it all in each OEOE. That's unique because typically when we come to these online workshops, it's all information based. We don't have a chance to open our hearts. We don't have a chance to tell our story. And I think that's a very unique component of it. For our incubators, I think our secret sauce is we talk about unconventional growth strategies. We try to get organizations to understand that we don't see growth as hiring more people. We don't see growth even, and I know this is going to sound crazy, as bringing in more money. We see growth in the ability, whether it's a small organization, small nonprofit, small business, and being able to grow their ability to solve social problems and take those problems and distribute them into communities facing similar challenges, but lack the resources to respond. And so when we do that, when we focus on growth on the answer, then all of a sudden everything becomes a tool, right? How do we then increase our staff in order to achieve the growth strategy? How do we increase our funding to solve the social problem? And we were very fortunate that our participants supported that work and that type of training methodology because it is a new thing. I think finally, we factored in root cause analysis to really begin to help organizations understand that there is a root cause to that problem. And do they want to continue managing it or do they want to solve it? And to solve it, they have to understand the root of it. So we factored that into our training and to the design of their social solution. So I think that's a combination of Elizabeth's and our secret sauce, but I'll turn it over to her to share her insights.
Yeah, so I think as we were facilitating these workshops, we were really intentional about the instructors that led the workshops, making sure that they also that attendees and participants saw that they also represented like the communities that they were coming from as well. So being really intentional, making sure that we had BIPOC instructors that also had like successes as a small business and nonprofit. So they feel that it was a safe space to learn and to ask questions, which is really important. One of the key features of our um, workshops was a part called Talk Back, where in the last 15 to 20 minutes, like it wasn't only a Q&A, but it was also a space where attendees and participants could share like their challenges and successes and network among each other, which I thought was really important for the growth of small businesses and nonprofits.
And why would you say that, these sessions are important?
I would say the sessions were important just because I felt like, as Natasha said, like we were through our sessions, we were providing practical solutions, not only just providing information and providing high level overview. We were doing like really deep dives into the subjects that we were presenting to small businesses and nonprofits, which they really appreciated. A lot of feedback we got was like, "Oh yeah, I've, attending other like small business workshops in the community, like they would specifically say that ours really helped do the deep dive, and we would go and do tutorials and practice sessions of different like technologies. We would tell them this is the website you go to and show them like how they can access it. So I think also through our programs they were important because we were also decreasing, battling like the digital divide that some small businesses and nonprofits may face, not knowing like certain technologies. We really like not only just say, hey, this is a tool you can use, but we really went into that tool and show them like all of the features of the tools that they can use. And I think a lot of participants really appreciated that.
And I know you mentioned some of the subject, like kind of areas that you guys were talking about in the sessions, but what are some of those key topics or areas that the program focuses on to help small businesses and nonprofits grow and become sustainable?
Um, well, I know definitely on the small business and nonprofit side, I think one of the first things that a lot of small businesses and nonprofits need support with is funding, fund development, financing. Black Tech Link is also a consultant regularly to a lot of small businesses and nonprofits, and they always reach out about we need to identify ways of funding our operations. But before they can even fund their operations, they need to understand like how do they build like a sustainable like fund bookkeeping management system. So I think we started off with like how to leverage like online bookkeeping tools and how to manage those properly, which I think was a success. And that ultimately would lead to like how they can, utilize those tools for tax preparation. And so that was also important. We also did a lot of conversations on government contracting, as that is also a way to develop funds. We did conversations, like in-person conversation that focused on different financing opportunities, whether it's through a bank or a CDFI, a community development financial institution, and alternative means of funding, so they do have that access as they're looking to grow. Um, and then we also did some conversations on, just preparing yourselves for to do business with other businesses, other government agencies. So capability statement conversations, how to access these like websites, such as like for the county of San Diego, how to access BINet, for the state of California, how to access Cali Procure. Because I mentioned before, there are some like, um, there is a digital divide, and it can be kind of cumbersome trying to figure out like all of these online systems to try and like, propose a bid and so or propose a bid. And so those are kind of like the workshops that we did.
So for the
Yeah, it is.
nonprofits,
Oh,
can I add, please?
go ahead.
For the
Yeah.
nonprofits, we aligned our OEOEs with supporting the County of San Diego's efforts to simplify the process
Hmm.
for small businesses and small nonprofits to join the procurement opportunities. We is interesting, and we're very thankful that the county actually facilitated a couple of our OEOEs. Kelsey Neal, who's a senior procurement officer, she facilitated came in and actually taught how to apply for requests for proposals, requests for quotations, statement of qualifications, really walk the organizations through the compliance requirements, all towards how to prepare, get ready. The opportunities are coming. The county is simplifying things for small organizations. Get ready so that you can join other organizations that want to partner with the county. We also added in financial management with a 30-day program that provided information and training on all aspects of financial management from beginners, intermediate to advanced. And it culminated on a 2-day training on focusing on true cost budgeting, indirect cost rates, what's the what if analysis that small businesses and nonprofits need to look at in this very interesting funding world that we live in right now with what's going on with the federal government.
Mhm.
So in compliment to Elizabeth, we kind of drew from her format. We kind of extended it a little more with a 30-day training program. And we definitely partnered with the County of San Diego to support their efforts to invite and make it simple for small organizations to contract with them.
That's amazing. And one, thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that those areas are really critical. And I love how you guys are saying that the collaboration with the county, obviously this is one of their initiatives, and that they stepped up and stepped in to really be able to provide that additional support to guide people down that process. Because I think that's one of the biggest things is just having knowledge, around those areas and how you maneuver with, going through the applications and signing up for different things, and kind of just demystifying, what people are believing about like the process. So how do you ensure that the content that you guys are providing, that the information that you're giving remains relevant, and also that the impact continues?
Well, first
Oh.
of all, demystifying is our word. You can't have it. That's what we called our OEOEs, demystifying the process. I think, and I want to speak for Elizabeth, but I won't. She speak for herself. I think we've kept it relevant because we listen. Right? We did not just say, we're going to give you this information. We actually sent out polls to the community to say, what is it that you need to learn? And then we designed and customized both the incubators and the OEOEs around that. To me, there's no other way to make it relevant than that. The other thing I think that makes it a success is that, and this is attributed to the participants, they came. I know that sounds like it's something silly to say, but it's not. It shows that the community wants to learn. They want to have access to this type of training that Elizabeth and I provide. And so that adds to the relevancy, because now I'm telling you what I want to learn. You're providing it. I'm showing up. And then here's the cherry on top. I'm practicing it. That's what we kept hearing. I'm doing it. I'm learning it, and it's working. So for me, that is the umbrella of relevancy that I believe we bring to the table.
Elizabeth, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I guess I'll just share like a little bit of history about Black Tech Link and where we began. Um, when we first started during the pandemic, we were motivated to provide support primarily for Black-owned businesses. Um, and we did a series called 30 Days of Black Business. And we really wanted to, just kind of in the format, provide like, professionals from our network to support small businesses and nonprofits doing workshops every day. And that was a really impactful program. And, you know, throughout the years before Project Most, we were on this project, we would do um, trainings here and there just because our community asked us. And so I was really appreciative to work with Natashe like on this project because I feel like just working in this project, Project Most, it kind of has set like the pace and the standard of how we provide small business and nonprofit trainings to our communities. And I know Project Most is coming to an end, hopefully not for too long, but we've been able to kind of identify other funds to kind of keep this program going. Um, and like I couldn't have done that without Project Most. And so we definitely are looking to remain relevant and continue the impact in a very similar format, you know, providing the open entry, open exit workshops, you know, providing surveys. And now we're at the point where we can offer technical assistance, which is something we didn't necessarily have the capacity to do. And so now we offer that through some other programs through the city of San Diego, through the state of California. But it was really like Project Most that helped us build what giving back to the small business and nonprofit community locally like looks like. And so, and then even a lot of our workshops have been virtual. So we're also at the point where we're creating kind of like a resource hub where people can come and watch these videos, you know, on demand. And so I'm really excited to be outrolling that as a continuation of the program.
Well, that leads me right into my next and final question, which is, what's next for both Black Tech Link and the Prep Institute?
Well, as I mentioned before, it doesn't stop. You know, I'm we regularly host like um, you know, workshops leaning into like our community to understand like what topics are important and relevant to them and answering the call, you know, providing like these workshops with amazing business owners that provide services to the nonprofit and small business community. And so we definitely want to keep that going. And then we also like I mentioned before, we're excited to offer technical assistance. And not only like we're working with these business professionals to not only facilitate the workshops, but now they're offering like um, technical assistance under our program to small businesses and nonprofits. So we're kind of building like this community. And it's really enriching to see like the growth of everyone that's regularly participating. So that's what I definitely want to continue underneath our small business. We're calling it our small business mastery program. So I'm really excited for that.
So, like Elizabeth, we're continuing the work. We're doing two things. One, we have started a nonprofit called the Growth Incubator for Social Solutions that continues to provide training to the current participants as well as other organizations that are really interested in growing their social solution, as we talked about earlier. And the other thing is we have created the first growth incubators online so that organizations, one thing that we heard from many participants was that they wanted to attend the training, but they couldn't, or they wanted to attend the incubator, or they couldn't for a myriad of reasons. And so many have asked us, can you go online? Can I do this online? Can it be more convenient? And so we said yes to that. And so we are actually launching 11 growth incubators online for people to be able to use. We are also creating an online platform just for the County of San Diego to continue to take all the information that we learned in all the training from Kelsey Neal.
Mhm.
And that will provide small businesses and nonprofits the step-by-step process for preparing to contract with the county. So now they can do it in a self-paced mode, and they will also have connections to subject matter experts along the way. So our work continues in person, online, and however else it needs to, because I believe that we can solve these social problems. I really and truly do. And I'm determined to help any organization that believes that too, to do it. So my hope is that we will also continue working with Miss Elizabeth, because it has been an absolute joy and an absolute blessing. And I think my final thing is we will continue to work on behalf of the County of San Diego and Live Well San Diego. They didn't have to do this, in truth. They did not have to listen to the community and make a way for them to succeed in growing their organizations and their social solutions. So I am always thankful and grateful for the work that the county and Live Well Done does to support small organizations in San Diego.
Well, that is the end of our time. And I just want to say thank you to both of you so very much. This was very insightful. One, thank you for all of the work that you guys have done. I think just hearing about all of these impactful stories and just all of the progress that has been made. And we're really looking forward to seeing more of what you guys have done and will continue to do. And I'm really excited about these growth incubators. That sounds phenomenal. I'm really glad that you guys are reaching out to the community, going to where they're at, asking them, number one, listening to what they're saying, and then providing them with the solution that they can apply, and then providing them with that support throughout that entire process. So this has been such a great experience to kind of just listen and learn about what you guys have been able to accomplish. So thank you so much for that. I think that is the end of our interview and conversation today. Are there any last words that you guys want to provide? If not, then we'll sign off.
I think my only thing would be, if you really want to be able to go to effective, informative, participatory training, if you really want technical support, particularly as small businesses, contact Elizabeth Cotton.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And you know, um, I'm really just excited, and I appreciate Natashe, for giving me that like leg up and that push for really formalizing our small business and nonprofit like support that we do in the community. And I'm just looking to continue providing this support for the community. Our consultants, our workshop facilitators are all amazing individuals and very knowledgeable. And, I lean on their expertise to provide their services for the community. And so just want to keep doing that, and just remain consistent. I think that's the most important part also, is just making sure that we are consistent, because that's what builds trust in the community. And that's what's also really important for small businesses and nonprofits to take advantage. Like, they need to be able to trust the work that we do, and that we can support them and continue supporting them. So, yeah.
Well, to that vein, I know Natasha said you need to contact Elizabeth Cotton, right, at Black Tech Link. So, how do people get in contact with you guys if they want to be a part of this amazing initiative, or just the amazing work that you guys are continuing to do?
So you can reach me at theprepinstitute.com, and my phone number is 240-604-2816, always available. My email's a little long. Do you want me to talk about it?
No, we can we
You
can
could
put your
add that
email
in,
there.
right?
Yeah, but what's the best way for them to contact you? Is it by email, text, social media? You know, but I think you gave
Yeah.
a great
Or
answer
you
by
can reach
going
us.
to the website.
Yeah, you can reach us. You can reach our growth, our nonprofit at growthincubator.org. And again, always available for anybody that needs assistance.
Right. And for Black Tech Link, if you go to our website, blacktechlink.org, and we have a page called Small Business Mastery Program. There's a big button that says Talk with an Expert, and that you fill out that form, and it'll put you right on my schedule. And so that will like give a opportunity to just kind of talk about your small business nonprofit needs, and then we can direct you to a consultant that can serve you. So yeah, that's the best way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, ladies. And please have a wonderful day and wonderful rest of the year as well.